Great day, everybody. For this middle moment here, we're going to talk about, man, just being hard to distract. The big shift in self improvement is a shift away from what's being called the grind harder era towards an era that is considered more mental hygiene. It's deliberately protecting our our nervous system, it's protecting our focus, and it's protecting our attention. It's protecting it from constant overstimulation. How many times do we know we're constantly given every notification in the world on our phones? Phone's always ringing, texts are always going off. It's pling, 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 doo 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 doo. It's always going off. There's always this noise, this sound. It's about having the hygiene to floss out a lot of this sound that is overstimulating us, wearing us out much quicker, and in some cases, making it to where we can't even get through the days. So it's realizing that we're not built to be lazy and looking in the mirror and without using it as a get out of jail free card, actually looking in the mirror and realizing that many of us are over mentally stimulated by the doom scrolling, the notifications, the endless junk that we're allowing the teeth of our life to become just caked with decay with. And it's going in with this mental floss and it's streamlining this need to just be on, be scrolling, be aimlessly looking, and expecting that to give us a dopamine rush that we know is never going to last. Give up the doom scrolling for what is, I've heard this term a lot this year, especially dopamine menus. You're sitting on an app and you're just scrolling right through it and everything. You're not even watching all of a video. And then you're scrolling to the next, and then you're going to the next. And you're looking at things that aren't even stimulating you. They're not motivating you. They're not giving you a pure dopamine hit of actual something to build on. So instead of aimlessly looking, look at your goals. Whatever app you're on, whatever media platform you're using, if you're watching video content, what are you looking at? Are you looking at the same cat video, meow, 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 500 times? Or are you looking at a place you want to go? For me, myself, what I've been doing a lot in 2026, the Virgin Islands, got to tell you, it is calling me. And when I'm getting on Tubi, when I'm getting on one of the social media apps for video content, I'm not looking at the humdrum. I'm not looking at what's going on where there's negativity, where there's violence. I'm looking right now to make myself better so I can make everything around me just a little better. It starts with me, it starts with you. By doing that, I'm looking at the islands, I'm looking at the Caribbean, I'm looking at places like Scotland that I want to go see. Those are the video pieces of content. Also, I am flooding it with entrepreneurship. People, men and women who for decades now have been building their life. Instead of content where they're tearing people down and just degrading, I'm looking for the, as Mr. Rogers would say, the helpers. You know, the helpers who are coming in and giving content a lot of times for free that can motivate. So get off of the doom scrolling and start triggering that algorithm to look for things you want. You want to travel. Where do you want to travel? Start looking on TikTok and Instagram. Start looking for these places in the islands or the the Caribbean, the Arctic, maybe it's Australia, maybe it's somewhere in Europe, the old ruins, the Aztec civilization in South America, whatever it is. Start flooding your content more with that instead of the cheap, useless doom scrolling that really is not bringing you any value. And in fact, it is actually draining you because it's showing you things you don't want. It's overstimulating you. You go to bed tired only to find out a lot of times you can't sleep. But Short, daily mindfulness routines. How many times have we said, I'm going to get to that, and then we don't do it? And then we hate ourselves for it. We hate ourselves because we have this belief that we have to have forced hours of everything, that we can't feel good in a matter of minutes, that we got to do these hour-long seminars, we got to go to this, work is 8 hours, there's no way I'm going to be able to overcome that. But ask yourself, are you really giving yourself that mental hygiene? And by making yourself less distracted to everything that's going on at work, do you have to be distracted at everything? No. You can floss out the gossip, the naysay. You don't have to be rude about it. You can just find more work to do. And then before you know it, when your day's done, what are you going home to on the phone? Are you going home to on the laptop, the iPad? What are you coming home to in your conversations? Streamlining those conversations to where instead of talking about everything bad that happened, go home to your spouse, go home to your kids and start talking about, hey, the trip we're going to take to the Virgin Islands, or hey, let's look up, there's this great documentary on Scotland, or, the islands of, I don't know, whatever, Australia, you name it. Get yourself excited and get yourself off of the thought, the doom scrolling in your mind of work that you're not even at. Getting the dopamine, there's a lot of backlash because they say dopamine, it makes us feel good, but a lot of times we use that and we get a cheap form of it. We get a cheap form instead of a meaningful habit. If you're sitting there doom scrolling, or you're sitting there looking at stuff that you're telling your brain, I'm going to have that, we're going to do that, and keep going, the repetition of these short, daily mental hygiene moments, our mind is going to adapt because our mind is designed to seek out repetition, routine. That's why I always say getting up early and reading and having devotional time and having time with journaling and stuff is so important, because it's training our brain to show that these routines are important before we go out and we get bombarded with all the negative notifications and the chatter of life. It's about looking for the calm discipline. You can have calm, focused discipline over hype. This trend comes out, everybody's got to jump on it. Do you? No. What are you doing daily with these habits? Calmly building a block, one on top of another, until you've got a structure that you can stand on. Too many people are jumping at everything that's flashy, everything that dings or looks the shiniest. My grandpa always had this saying, you don't have to have new to have nice. If it's getting you where you need to go, if it's creating value for you right now, and you know that it is building consistent, stable growth, don't risk rocking the boat with that for something that's got to send you all the bells, whistles, notifications, and everything in one day. Sort it out, do that mental hygiene, and become less distracted by the new, the bigger, the improved. Oh my gosh, did you hear this? Or did you see about so-and-so? Blah, 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 blah. Cutting it all out. The next level of self-improvement is not becoming superhuman. The next level of superhumanness is actually a form of self-improvement that just simply makes us harder to distract. When we become harder to distract off of the focus that we have, that we are given for our lives, our family, our spouse, our careers, not just a job, when we're focused off of just getting by to actually becoming financially independent and how we can do that, that focus, that is less likely to be distractible. And that is almost like having a superhuman ability. Quit worrying about the grind. Remember, when you sharpen a knife, it has a sharp, but then it gets dull and you got to grind it again. And eventually, as I seen my grandpa do when I was a kid, eventually his pocket knives he couldn't use anymore because he ground itself to nothing. Don't grind yourself into anything, but be disciplined. Have that calm discipline every day to keep building those blocks and become hard to distract. Guys, live life, love life. And from the depths of my soul, climb out of that foxhole. Great day, people.